No,
Can't
we're
get
still
them to cut
muted.
the grass or maintain the property.
Okay, I'm recording.
Now we're
Bob, you ready?
Okay,
Okay, go. We're unmuted.
Alright.
Maybe we're recording.
Alright, a motion to reconvene the meeting.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have a discussion of communication plan.
Okay, so that's you. So we definitely need to do the .gov thing. Like that absolutely has to be done. So then, like, here's an example of some of the other towns that I like get stuff from. And I just think it's, you know, I just think it's important to get as much communication out as possible. But like for that one, it says from the mayor's desk, and it's just, you know, it puts stuff out there. I mean, this all has to do with, you know, COVID stuff, but it has like, you know, that information. And so Joe could start doing something, you know, like that, like, you know, if it's specific stuff that comes up, then they can do that. But I also think that it's important that like maybe once a month you have something, and then it's just like the town of, like a newsletter, and it's just like information.
And have a section then
the
maybe there
yeah.
that if we allow any HOA or community neighborhood, if they have something they want to get out, that we have a holding spot for them in the community newsletter. I think that would be nice.
Sorry, Bob.
no problem. Oh, cool, okay,
Hold on, then I got another one to show you.
okay.
But I agree, and I'm open to doing that. Again, it comes down to, are you guys comfortable with me writing a letter, or would you rather I pass it by you first so you at least get a look at it saying, okay, maybe you shouldn't say that, Joe, or...
Give us a pass at it.
Okay.
Like have it like ready to go after like our work session. The work session's a perfect time to go over it. And we can go over it, and so at the end of every month, you'll get a letter from the mayor. Unless it's something that is
I'm totally fine with that.
situationally needed sooner than that.
Right.
But yeah,
And then we would probably, that's where she would come in, Christina, as a town manager, if we need to get something out quicker. Because I would like to get, in all fairness, 3-4 other sets of eyes on it just before I
Yeah.
print it out, and we're all okay
that's
with
what
it.
I'm saying. Let's work on it at the work
And I
session.
am absolutely, and I think that's a perfect idea, and then it comes out, it gets approved at the work session, goes out immediately?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, either that day or the next day. So yeah,
okay.
I think that's good. And then we can work on kind of the policy portion. I know you haven't
And-
had time to do that, but
I tend to get long-winded, I know that, but I also tend to get long-winded even in letters, so this will give an opportunity. There's a lot to talk about that never gets out there,
yeah.
and if we keep it, or you guys keep me within one page, short blurbs,
Bullet
that's
points
what
are
would be my
always
good-
great.
Yeah, that would be my goal.
Okay.
There's, I mean, so many just from the tax increase, what we're gonna do with it, you know, adding that officer and letting people know, you know, we're,
And just stuff that you're excited about or stuff that you're concerned about or.
Well, here's, so my company, we do social media posts. And so at the beginning, like right now, I just got mine from my team. These are all the posts that are gonna happen for the month of June. And I go in and I approve them. And so they go out 3 times a week. They're just basic information. It's not something we're reacting to, but it's basic information. My thought of this is we do something like that, that it's just, don't forget to put the don't, you know, whatever they.
Fill out the 2020 census.
Right. So at the end of the month, at the end of our last meeting before the next month, we come up with a set of items that just need to be communicated. And that, don't forget the meetings at Village Council, a cup of drinks with cocktails with council.
It's either coffees or cocktails.
But there's something that goes out twice a week. It's already done. All you have to do is hit send. It goes out. That will eliminate the propaganda stuff. And they'll start, then we're going to train people to know what to look for when they get a communication. If it's something other than that, it's propaganda, and they know it. And then we go with it from that way. So something's gonna go out 2 to 3 times a week, already pre-noted, and it goes out.
So,
Is this
okay.
something we can approve just through a,
You approve
it
it?
comes through an email from
No,
Christine?
no,
Do it
it's
at the work
approved.
session.
Do you do it at the work session, or you do it
Well,
at
we're
the?
only meeting the work session once.
Yeah, but we
two,
do
three
it
times.
for the entire next month.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So like mine, my company, they send me, so I have all my posts, there's 12 posts that goes to all the different things, 3 times a week. They're already there, and it's just a simple blurb, it's just something. Don't forget that the 2020 says your clock, turn the clock back. Cover your plants if it's freezing.
Right.
Yeah.
We're closed for the July 4th holiday. They're
So,
gonna
in
do
essence,
fireworks at
you're-
Firethorn,
Right.
whatever.
You're programming the people to know that we're taking them off propaganda and we're taking them to the original site. If you don't get it from this site, it's propaganda.
Official business, yeah.
Right.
I think that's good. So come up with, okay, so we won't do it for June, only because we don't have what we're gonna talk about. So we'll start it at the end of June for July. So we need to come up with 12 different things, or
Let's
2.
just say 2.
Okay, so 6, nope, 8, nope, 8.
8. Come up with 8. It's,
8 things. Okay, so eight items to send out for the month of July. So we'll definitely do, we're closed July 4th. Not that we need to do it right now, but I'm just thinking of stuff that we can just pop out there. Fireworks will be held at Firethorn,
Is that open to the public?
Mhm.
Okay,
isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I've never
It is.
I've never known.
They
that
don't,
it was.
stop anybody.
It is.
They
Okay.
just, it
Um,
becomes an issue.
you know,
I don't know if we have
definitely do the
fireworks.
consensus.
So,
Yeah, we approved it.
they did, I know that, but I'm saying
Gotta
is
stay
that,
6 feet apart.
I'm assuming.
watch your speed on Marvin Road.
Yes.
yeah.
Please
The next week, do one of,
slow down on Joe
slow
Carr.
down on your car, protect our children. I mean, and the thing is, you can use the same ones over and over again. We should make this
Congratulations,
difficult.
all seniors.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, congratulations all graduates. So that way you're covering the whole gamut of everybody. But yeah, but like you guys think of some stuff, we'll come with some stuff.
Once we know the calendar of the,
Of the council with coffee, we'll definitely have that, or cocktails.
Are you also wanting meeting dates and
Absolutely.
times
Sure.
and all that?
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. Reminder,
Yep.
Village Hall, regular meeting, planning board meeting.
Yeah.
You know.
Parks Rec and Greenway meetings.
Yeah, no, but just, and that goes under a separate heading. Upcoming meetings, boom, bullet point,
Yep.
you know. That's all stuff that's already scheduled anyways, just reminders.
Just reminders. Yeah. I think that's good.
Bob, anything else?
No, I just in summation, when I was in another state, with another government municipality, and I was involved with the downtown and basically the whole revitalization of the downtown program through the Main Street program. I mean, heck, it wasn't even 24 hours after being put into my position that we had, of course, in the town that was 50,000 or 100,000 in the county, we had, our own TV station, we had 3 radio stations, we had a newspaper, and I just beat a path immediately to those entities. Now, this was back 2000 when really the internet, the web was still not as frequently visited, and social media was virtually almost non-existent. And I remember beating a path and being on top of everything. In other words, it was like we would have things that I was so excited to get out there in front of the public and tell them, look what we're doing, that I was always ahead of the game. And even if there were any naysayers or there were anybody that basically had a question about you're doing what or what's happening, like you folks, or especially Christina, I always had an answer. So in other words, if there was any negative information that came out, I was always on top of it. I was always there. And I liked that I know we're a smaller community, so I kind of like exactly if we've only got social media, what was brought up before by Councilman Lyon, if we only have social media, if we only have a website and different places to go, then that's all we got. I don't know about the Inquirer, the Monroe Inquirer. I don't know if that's a place that we can also go and get stuff in print. So people can see, that, hey, we're working on all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of fun things that are happening. I mean, people would love to hear possibility of what we're looking at for Joe Kerr Road, to keeping the community safe. So like, there's exciting things to talk about like we've just done in the last few minutes. So I believe in communication. I graduated with a degree in communications and it's like, I believe in getting the word out there and being ahead of it, always be ahead of it.
All right, thank you. All right, any other comments on this? I think we're good. All right, moving on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Fun facts. Any kind of fun facts that can be put out. But have people submit recipes.
I was getting ready to say that. I thought some everybody would think that was stupid.
Have people submit recipes, and the recipe of the week is from Kim Vandenberg in her apple pie, grandma's apple pie recipe. And guess who doesn't get it?
Yep.
The people that are on the light blue. And that's just, again, it just promotes, and it's transparency and promotion. And then someone's going to say, well, God, why didn't I get that? Well, you're not in the Village of Marvin. Just all the little things add up to something big.
And then you guys can work the policy around that.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Okay.
Well, did you know the Earth's circumference is this? But it came from the Village of
No, but
Marvin.
I mean, like, you've got, like, Earth Day and stuff. Like, so, like, whatever, like, I mean, look at the we'll look at the calendars and see what's coming up and then, make sure we're putting stuff out there.
8 things are not hard to come up with.
No, easy. Easy.
Extremely easy.
And I guess with that is a short blurb from me is what we're expecting, just to be clear.
Yeah, and then
Not every time.
Okay.
No.
Well, I thought we
Just
talked about once
once
a
a
month.
once a month.
Once a month, you're
Okay.
going to fill one of those spots once
Okay,
a month.
okay.
But if you're spending 2 out a week, let's just say 8,
Right.
one of those is from you. Then now we only have 7. Well, one of those is a recipe recipe of the month. The other one is a fun fact. Did you know that the Village of Marvin only has X number of gophers? I don't know. Just come up with something.
Right.
But it's a fun fact. And
And then we'll have dates of meetings, and then we'll have closures. And we'll
send
have,
your pictures in for celebrations. The kids taking pictures and let the kid. I mean, and you get the kids involved. I mean, if you do a
Send us your best picture from the park.
I
right.
have to be careful about posting pictures of kids without having parent consent.
Well, if they're
Well,
sending them
but if
in,
they
then I'm
submitted-
hoping they've got their
But we
approval.
still have to have something on file that they've consented for us to use their
We can
picture.
get it. It's fine, we'll get it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not difficult, is what I'm trying to say.
And the mayor, even if he didn't have anything to say, that was, relevant for that month, he could give like a famous positive quote,
What was that? What? I missed you cut out.
You could insert when you don't have anything per se to say.
I always have something
I
to
was gonna
say.
say, he's always got something to say.
Got it.
Did you hear it?
Yeah,
Did you?
I can insert something. I was teasing. I said I always have something to say, Bob.
Oh, okay, is it a positive one though?
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
let's move
but
on
definitely
to.
start working on that .gov.
Yeah, we've already done it.
We're in the process, we're waiting for approval.
Perfect.
Good, very good. All right, next up we have discussion Tullamore rebid for Phase 2 trail. We have Derek Dersh.
Alright. So as requested, I got the Tullamore Phase 2 trail re-quoted. I was able to bring in the new trail builder who we have doing the park. to get another set of professional eyes on it. Do you have access to those pictures? The trail is wet, and it stays wet a lot, and so that's why there's the increased cost that we had
But how did they
kind of
not know
originally
that?
planned.
How did they not know that from the first time that they went out to bid it?
Truth be told, they don't, just to get a random quote, they don't always
Come out and look
come
at
out
it.
and do an extensive look. You know, they can look at the area, they can get a measurement.
So they give us
They
a
can look at the
quote and then
survey.
it.
They're
and
not
then
looking
it's
at maps
doubled.
that say it's in a floodplain though?
I
Okay.
mean,
It just seems a little like that's obviously what we would expect, like
Well,
when you
and-
look at
and
some of
we
these
know
areas,
now-
like Trader Joe's.
yeah, and we
get
know
flooded
now
out.
to require that again, to get out there, to walk it, to show them
Okay.
all the problem areas.
So you're still recommending to go with Blue Ridge?
I mean, I think it makes sense for a couple reasons. They did the phase one. He's familiar with the area, and I mean, he's the one that laid out the proposed alignment for us to have it resurveyed anyway, to best navigate through that through the wooded area. I did walk it with Nature Trails, and if you look at the back there, they had multiple proposals, option 1 through 4, of ways to raise the tread, to get through the wet areas. And some are really neat. They're costly.
A railroad ties, I'm showing someone asking for railroad ties, I heard those don't really hold up that well. I know they have.
A what? What do you?
Railroad ties, I was just adding railroad ties to the side to build a causeway. Is that, I mean, that was in one of the quotes, is that even make, because those don't last, I mean, they deteriorate quickly.
Well, even the other builder recommended them as a one of the most durable timber options.
Okay. Better than treated wood, I guess, huh? Or some, or that,
I was trying to get,
plastic stuff.
and this
What
is
is
just
it?
some of the wetness that we're dealing with.
Okay.
Alright, so do you need us to give you a decision, like?
The money's there, right?
Yeah,
So in the agenda item, it says discussion of, but since this has been pushed back at least 3 times, I think that you're requesting actual action to take place at this meeting so that you can proceed with the project. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd like to get it done.
okay.
And we just had to rebid it only because of the difference in cost
Correct.
is significant. So this was already on there.
It's already in the,
Well, we've already approved it once, just not this cost.
that's correct.
Because of the change
Jeez.
of the cost.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Derek, you have it here, amend the capital improvement budget. It's not the capital improvement, it's the capital project budget. So, his action is that you amend the capital project and to allow us to enter the agreement with the lowest responsive bidder, which looks like Blue Ridge Trail Works, based on linear foot.
Alright.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Is everybody good with that? Bob, you good with that?
I'm good with that, yeah.
And though we don't take action or motions and stuff because this was already on paper, I'm comfortable with it. I'm sure rest of council are, unless you think, and I'll need a motion to approve that.
Okay, so do you want me to do the whole thing?
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend the capital project budget to cover additional costs of projects and award the contract for the construction of Tullamore Phase 2 Trail to the lowest responsive bidder, which was Blue Ridge Trail Works, and direct the manager to execute the contract between the Village of Marvin and Blue Ridge Trail Works for the construction of Tullamore Phase 2 Trail,
On attorney review.
upon attorney review.
Further discussion? All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Good luck with that.
Am I allowed to go ahead and put those, my item that's 2 down, do I have to wait?
Yeah, they'd have to amend everything. You have to wait.
That's fine. I think this shouldn't take too long. This is something that we've already discussed anyway.
Okay, just moving on.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
discussion,
sorry.
just discussion of Tullamore maintenance agreement and easement. We have Rohit, thank you.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Derek's fault.
Yeah, I get stepped on all the time, no worries.
Okay, so this is something we've already discussed. The contract should be there in the packet. We're going to amend the Tullamore maintenance agreement with the text and following exhibits. The red text you see is what Chaplin added, and blue text is something that I've added in addition to what he's added after some negotiations with the HOA, right?
And Chaplin has approved those additional changes?
No, he has not. So this needs to be on the consent agenda for the next meeting and not approval today. Since then, I've also talked with the HOA president about splitting the cost of the curb, which is why he added the language in there about splitting that cost, because the way it was worded before is we would basically be covered for any type of improvements that, or we would have to pay for any type of improvements if they decided to do some landscaping or anything like that. We would pay half of that. So we removed that language in there and only are paying for half of the closure of the curbing, which was estimated around $2,000. I've actually mobilized some crews to do some of the work. They've already done a locate, so the work should be done pretty quickly to close it in. Have you seen locate flags out
Where?
at Tullamore? At the parking lot, okay.
Okay, so basically Chaplin just needs to approve this and,
We'll put it on the consent.
okay. Alright, cool.
So no action?
Nope.
No action. I guess
Okay.
if you're fine with the terms, then
Yeah, I mean, as long as Chaplin takes a look at it and
Yeah.
just throw that on the consent agenda, we'll be good.
All right. Next up, we have update on park projects.
So I'd asked Derek to come and present some of the photos that we've had with some of the recent capital improvement projects that he's been working on. Wanted to kind of let y'all see some of the action in place that we've got approved in our capital improvement plans and our projects are moving forward, so y'all can see what's been going on lately.
Yeah, obviously, like, this is a kind of a new phase of my job that Christina's given me some control over, and these were some of the projects that I'd asked you for money for this fiscal year, so I just wanted to share some photos.
So was this the this is Amber Meadows, the one that we walked, it was so terrible? This is what it looks like? They did a great job.
This
So
one?
much better.
This one? Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's so much better. Holy smokes.
It used to be just completely mulch.
Well,
It
you
was
couldn't
awful.
walk on
It
it.
was
That was awful.
I mean,
Yeah,
me.
I should have done it
young
before and
people
after,
had issues.
but I knew that we had a pretty vivid memory of how bad it was.
Is this
Yeah.
Blue Ridge Trailers?
How's
That
it?
is Blue Ridge
Have you
Trail.
heard from any neighbors there?
You know, I haven't.
No.
I would've thought, yeah, you only,
Well, I mean, it's a community that I'm sure they like to get out and walk, and this is a great.
and this isn't even the final product. He's got to go back and kind of grade it and, you know, let it settle and sit.
Looks
and
good so far.
Recompact it, but yeah, I was really, really pleased. So the trees are,
Trees are
that's just
down.
a couple truckloads of some of the deadfall and dangerous ones that they removed, and
Good. And then the picnic shelter's done.
So the picnic shelter, just out of curiosity, are people reserving that, or is they just using it as open and a gathering of 10, or is it more than a certain amount you have to have?
Well-
How does that work?
well, right now, we're not, because of the phase 2 restrictions, everything, we're not doing any rentals.
Okay.
So I put 2 picnic tables under there and kind of spread them out, and we've got signage, you know, to say, maintain proper social distancing. Nancy and I have a meeting where we're gonna put together, actually use the intern to draw up a rental agreement form, very similar to the barn rental agreement, just modified, pretty much just modified in price because it's a smaller venue. And we'll bring that to you guys for approval, but we'll begin to rent that out as an additional source of revenue.
And do we have any signs about, up at the park about going forward? Someone sees the barn and wants to use it, or someone sees this picnic shelter and wants to use it. Do we have like a little sign identifying, please reserve this spot or something like that to let them know that they should, because that would be the plan, right? I mean, we're looking to rent these out for events, but if you're just coming to enjoy it, you may end up being kicked out of there because someone has that spot reserved, correct?
Correct.
Are we identifying that for the community, or is there
No.
anything in there that
We haven't,
hasn't been an issue, I assume?
No, I use a lot of word of mouth, tell people that rent it to spread it word of mouth, but I have no opposition to signage.
No,
Well-
but that would be a good blurb to do is, hey, if
Actually.
you wanna rent the barn, hey, if you wanna rent the
Yeah.
picnic shelter.
And I think
We've got
it's
a brand
been-
new picnic shelter
And I
at the
think it's
park,
been done before.
Right.
but that would definitely be a good ongoing.
I just want people to know if they go over there with their family for a picnic and use the picnic table, and then all of a sudden they're getting booted because they may get booted because that has been reserved for a birthday party.
Because
So
we
may-
were in the Valentine magazine, I think we mentioned it in there,
Yeah,
and then we were fortunate to get on the cover of the little Waxall coupon circular. I don't know if y'all saw that. But
no, but stuff like that we should know about so that we can
Or
promote
little
that.
signs that's, at the barn and at this area available for rentals, or, space.
Check
Yeah.
with, the Village of Marvin for availability. Or we may wanna have some sort of sign that we hang up when it is being rented. Like just a thing, it's reserved, like when you're going to set up, like
Well, we have
reserved.
that.
We have that,
Yeah,
okay.
we have that. but
Okay.
it's, this area, barn closed for private
Okay,
events.
good. So we need one for picnic shelter closed for private events.
Yep.
But I like, Joe's thing, just a little thing that says, available, for rent, available for parties, gathering, whatever you want to.
Yeah, plan your
Plan
birthday
your next,
party.
yeah, plan your next
event.
gathering,
like
family
it.
gathering, something like that.
When someone signs up, what do they get? Do they get anything?
Maybe with
Like if I
space.
want to reserve the barn, or if I want to reserve the picnic table, do I get anything? So if I walk up and there's a family under the picnic shelter,
Would you get like a piece of paper that says I've rented
Or
this, you
email.
gotta go?
or an email that says I've
I'm
got.
sure they do, right? A receipt?
Well, you have staff there at your check-in time.
So staff would be doing the,
So
hey,
there's-
this has been rented, so you're not having to do it. Is that what you're asking?
I just want, if I reserve it, that if I walk up, I've got something that says, no, I'm supposed to be here.
Staff will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm assuming your application, because we get it.
Yeah, you have your
agreement.
barn rental agreement form
And
that
you-
you signed with.
Probably have some sort of receipt saying you paid for it, so.
And Derek, we currently do not rent out the picnic shelter because it's not on our fees schedule. We do have the review of park fees on our agenda for the June work session, so we'll bring this back before
Perfect,
you.
good. Have that on there and let's get it going.
Because
Yeah,
I'm not,
that's what I was saying
and
also.
keep in mind, I'm
Yeah.
not telling the community you can't use it just if you have a few kids and nobody's there, but just be aware that it may be
It may
rented.
be
But if
rented.
nobody's there, by all
Feel
means,
free to use it,
use it,
absolutely.
but you may be subject to being booted out and moving your.
One thing I wanted to point out, Derek, do you know roughly how much mileage this trail is, Amber Meadows? Roughly?
I'm gonna go over there and check
I
that.
want to say it's
That's
a
nice.
quarter.
Okay. I just want to point out, as we're opening up additional trails and additional services and stuff, it does put demands on park staff, which is one of the reasons we're hiring a full-time person. So just wanted to kind of reiterate the need as we grow and services grow and barn rentals grow.
New Amber Meadows Trail open, ready to go. That's one.
Well, and to kind of further that, like Tullamore Phase 3, and then if Rohit can get the annexation property from Pulte where they built the townhomes, that's going to connect all of those. I mean, we're going to have a really nice
system back there.
Over, okay, so that'll connect to the little ice cream shop, right?
Yeah.
And the pizza place
Yeah.
also.
But there, just to reiterate to the public, you guys do maintain these trails, you have to go out and walk
It's a
them
lot
and
of
make
extra
sure.
work and extra maintenance. Like, just like Jay said, every time you put a shovel to it, you're gonna have more.
Creates a budget, and I know a former councilman just had called me about that, wondering why we're adding someone to it, and in my mind, I was thinking, well, why are we? And it made total sense that, you're being spread thin, and so we appreciate what you've been doing, so.
And also too, as the rentals increase, and they have increased a lot over the years, staff is there, like he said, during the events, they have to clean up after the events. They've really had a major demand put on them with the increase of rentals, and with, extra picnic shelters, that will increase as well.
I love it. It's great.
Great job.
Yeah.
I appreciate your guys' support.
Yeah.
Derek, I have a question. Is still in this age of COVID-19, as as you watch TV and you see that beaches in California have all these signs up that give you all these rules about staying safe 6 feet apart and all that. Do we have any plans to do anything like that in the park itself? Like these COVID-19, please adhere to these? I mean, is there something from the state that is standard? Is there something that Mecklenburg County is using in their parks
We have
that
something
we
like
can
that.
use, put up?
Yeah, so even from the CDC, the recommendations are just that. They're sort of recommendations. So collaboratively, from all the parks people in the county, we've just kind of been dialoguing and meeting once a week, and just kind of trying to interpret what we're hearing from the state on those things, and kind of try to be on the same page. So I just went with a generic, please maintain proper social distancing sign that I put out throughout the park. The bathrooms remain closed, the playground remains closed. I took the trail and I turned it into, one direction walking to avoid crisscrossing. So, it's a park, and when you step in, you're kind of assuming some risk and liability on your own just by being there, being present. We're just trying to make some general safety type of recommendations of how to manage yourself in that area, and trust that people are going to make wise decisions.
Shouldn't we open the bathrooms up so people can go in and wash their hands?
Then we have a layer of cleaning that we have to
Yeah,
maintain.
it brings on an added demand of cleaning that we just can't manage right now.
We could put some hand
Bring
sanitizer
the porta
stations out.
potties for the
Yeah.
little ones.
And that's been a thought. One of the issues is the availability, and the other issue is theft
Yeah.
of them. So,
Fun facts, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you do not need to wear your mask while you're driving your own car. Is that, you see those people that do that? They
All
have a
right,
mask.
keep going.
I'll be right back.
Alright, alright.
All right, good job, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. Next up is update on build grant. Go ahead.
Yes, so,
Is this a grant we were talking about last meeting?
yes, so.
Yeah.
John applied for it, and Bjorn said that it was fine, that we didn't pledge the money right now, but he did give the answers to the questions that I heard from you guys at the meeting, and that's in the memo. It's there, so basically for the, how do these projects get funded if this grant is just for the study? He says each of the projects that are identified in the study gets put on the list, and this is a joint project with Lancaster County, so it's with whichever state it's in, it gets put on that DOT's list of projects to do. So I guess that doesn't really mean that there's a funding source for the project itself, but it does mean that it gets put in a line, and then it'll get funded by the normal state funding for the DOT gets. And the other question is, how do we measure Marvin's benefit from the study? And one of the things Bjorn said, I just copied it to his email, but to paraphrase it, he said, Marvin residents drive out to places that are outside of Marvin all the time. And so when you drive on roads that are in Union County, and they're designed better, then you can see the benefit as a Marvin resident, even if those improvements are not in Marvin. But even then, there was the Joe Carr around Pacer, where there's that dip, and that place that was on the map that he presented. So there's at least one location that was identified in Marvin, within Marvin. And if you guys have any other questions, there's going to be a few months in between the time, between now and the time that application is approved.
And how many communities have signed up for this to date?
Did it change?
No, it was like 10 municipalities and the 2 counties.
Okay. So maybe we get an update by our next meeting, and, you know, I just didn't like, it was a Thursday and then the following week, and we just happened to be in a meeting and we had, you know, we were being hit blindsided, but I think in the end, it's overall picture of what we're looking at is making a little more sense with what.
Okay.
But I mean, it's closed, right? So, I mean, or.
Yeah, the application's already been submitted.
So it's, is
So,
what it is.
yeah, so without our promise for the funding, but then,
Right.
then I told him what you guys said at the meeting, that you would be willing to reconsider, you know, the funding if they win the grant. He said that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that update.
What is it that you wanted me to follow up on at the next meeting, Mr. Mayor?
Oh,
Um,
how many, if there's any additional municipalities that have,
Yeah, anybody that's signed on to it that, or, you know, we're still at the same status quo, was just curious to know if Weddington jumped on or who.
Well, I'd like to know who, if someone just completely declined, and what was the reason behind it?
Sure. I'll ask both of those things.
thank you.
Okay. All right, next up, discussion of board and adjustments, expired terms and board members.
Barbie, is that you?
That's me. As you know, the Board of Adjustments has not met simply because they haven't had any issues to meet on. But going through,
It is.
well, going through my
Everybody's-
records, we have a whole board that their terms expired. Some expired in 2019, March 1 of 2019, and then most recently, the remaining of the board was March 1 of 2020. So the question is either reach out to these to see if they want to continue to serve on the board, or if you want to put an advertisement out to solicit new volunteers for.
I would
the-
check with the ones that are on there now, see if they wanna re-up. And, let's have that to us by, if we can, the beginning of June meeting.
And you would have their dates, like the 3/1/2019 would go to, if she, say, Ms. Patton agreed to go on, that would go to what, 2-year term?
They are, I believe it's 2-year, might be 3. Don't quote me on
Two,
that.
cause she got reappointed in 17 and it expired in 19, so it's a 2-year term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make
So-
one suggestion too, before
Sure.
you go on too much further? There are municipalities that merge their planning board and board of adjustments together, so they are the same board, basically.
I don't like that because doesn't the Board of Adjustment sometimes have to go, like, make a decision about what the planning board has done?
It would be a cancel decision, any decision that's made. There may be some planning board decisions, but they have to do quasi judicial.
I just like having them separate. I
Okay.
mean, I know, like, if we can get them,
There has been zero workload put on them in the last
Yeah,
4
5
years.
years.
5 years, right? So, I mean, if they're willing to serve, it's gonna be very unlikely they're gonna need to serve unless something comes up that we're.
but I would try to have that, Barbie, if you can, by the June meeting, and then we can see who has said, yeah, they're willing to go 2 more years and who's not.
June
And
But we still have one more vacant seat, so.
That's
we
for the
s-
alternate,
That's the alternate.
Okay,
so.
okay.
I just wait, and then if people say no, then we'll put it out there that we're looking for people to serve.
All right. Are there any other questions, Bob, Jamie?
No, sir.
All right,
I have a comment on this one, actually. So the county is going to see our ETJ application at their June 15th meeting. And if they approve it, we're going to need to appoint one Board of Adjustment member who lives in the ETJ. Just
Okay.
wanted to throw that out there.
Is it just Board of Adjustment or is it Planning Board? as well?
Planning board as well. That's
Okay.
if we're talking about Board of Adjustment.
Okay.
I thought I'd bring it up.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Next up, we have discussions of calendar dates for coffee with council meetings.
Okay, I kind of wanted to, not that this is me, but I kind of wanted to start this like in June. 'Cause we can socially distance ourselves in June. So it's fine.
My direction was to start September. I mean, that's what I had on my action.
After
items is-
summer?
Yeah,
I thought last meeting we talked about having it starting in June.
I would, my thought would be do it sooner than later because I want to gladly
Me
see
too.
all the people who raised hell and sent out false accusations. I want to see if they're going to show up.
Well, we can certainly invite
Well, we
them
can do that.
personally and, you know,
I mean, I can,
we're holding a
It's
spot
fine,
for
let's
you.
just do it, let's just go through our calendars right now, starting in June. We've pushed this off so long, so let's just do it. Okay, so the week of June 1st. What are we just rotating between Wednesdays and Tuesdays, or? Looks like it, Barbie.
well, I put Wednesdays because it's mostly what was falling, but if you want to do Wednesdays and Tuesdays, that's fine too. It's however you want to set the calendar up. These are just merely suggestions. It's
Okay.
nothing that's cut in stone.
And what days on Wednesdays, like the second Wednesday, first Wednesday, what are we doing? Or every week?
I've suggested the first Wednesday as a morning and the second Wednesday, which would be after your initial meeting in the evening.
Okay.
But
But what, is it every week? Is that what the council wants to
I
do?
think we've got every other week. So it looks like we have 2 dates a month, is that what?
it was my understanding you wanted to do it once a month, so I've put two dates, one for a morning meeting and one for an evening. So you're meeting once a month. If you
I
want to
think
meet
that's
more
fine.
than that, then just let me know that too.
I mean, we can always add more if it becomes popular. I can tell you the Cup of Joe with Joe was good for a few HOAs and that was it. And I haven't
Okay.
seen anyone call me or have any issues, but I would, to Jamie's point, start out by having some invites of the people who wrote letters and
Yep.
and say, now you come in and talk to us, and if you want staff there, great, but we can only have 2 council members.
Okay, what about, what about Wednesday the 3rd?
I will be here, so I can take that spot.
I can't do Wednesday mornings. I have because I have a
Oh.
9 o'clock to 10:30 every Wednesday.
Okay, so why don't we make that Thursday morning, the 4th?
Okay.
I can do that one right now. I think I have my real estate class is the next day, so Thursdays work. So I'm gonna, is that, what time?
Let's say 10 instead of 9?
Yeah.
10. Okay, so who wants to do it? I can do it.
I'll do it.
All right, y'all do the first one.
Okay.
I'm just putting
Who's doing it?
council with.
Me and the mayor
Okay.
at 10 o'clock, Thursday, June.
And that's for how long?
Hold on, wait, I can't do it that day.
I'll do it.
Okay,
How long?
just an hour.
An hour, 10 to 11.
Sorry, I just remembered sorry.
Okay. Do you have another
Second,
week?
10 o'clock.
Do you have an evening that month?
10 o'clock. How about the 23rd? I can do it that evening.
And I can do it that evening.
Okay. Wanna do it at 6, Bob?
Sure.
Okay,
What day is that?
the 23rd. Wait, is that planning board or is the planning board the 16th?
16th.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
just the
because I
16th.
participate with the planning board.
So this is in June and in the evening,
June
what day?
23rd,
Oh, it's a
23rd.
Tuesday.
yep. At 6, me and
So
Bob.
I had,
Me and Bob.
FYI,
Uh-huh.
I had the Wildlife Federation proclamation
I
that
sent you a
day.
cancellation for that.
Oh, they did cancel it?
Yeah, they
See,
did
we're
cancel it. I was gonna tell you
canceled.
today.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to all that stuff.
They did cancel it until further notice. They haven't,
They have no, okay.
they haven't rescheduled.
Right above where it was talking.
Well, I knew that date
Okay.
was on, and then I just seen cancel.
All right, let's go to July.
Easy on me.
How about
So
July?
go back to June.
June,
See,
okay.
the 4th at 10 a.m. was Joe and I, right?
Yep,
I'll send you calendars. I'll send the
Okay.
June and the July.
and then me and Bob are doing it on the
Good, then I'm
23rd
not gonna do that.
at
No.
6.
Now, that's one is a planning board meeting, correct?
No,
Is that,
planning board's the 16th, you and I are the 23rd.
okay.
And the evenings become cocktails with council?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, June. How about July? How about the 1st? I can do it that morning.
I can't do Wednesday.
I know you
That's
can
a
do Wednesday.
Wednesday, right?
You want me and you to do it Wednesday?
Have me go there. I'm supposed to be,
Are you going out of town?
I think so.
Okay. How about the week? How about the?
22nd?
No, hold on. We're trying to do something at the beginning of the month.
No.
How about the?
Well, can Bob do the 1st? Can you
Yeah,
do
Bob-
July the 1st?
I was just trying to not have me and Bob do another one
Oh,
back to
I
back.
And
What about the 7th?
7th, we've got Park Truck and Greenway at 9.
Okay.
so in a case where we
How about
can
this-
only get one, I would recommend, because we don't wanna be sitting with, just by ourselves,
No.
maybe grabbing a staff member.
No, I think we have 2
Okay.
always. How about the 2nd? Is that too close to?
I don't care.
All right. How about me and you, Jamie? Let's do it on the 2nd.
Okay, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And for council, just so you know, I mean, if something comes up and you need to change it, when I'm here, I will be more than happy to fill your spot. Just give me a heads up in time, if something comes up.
All right. How about the evening of the 22nd?
I'm good.
Bob and Joe.
I can do that.
Okay.
And what time is that one?
6. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Beginning of August. How about the 4th? No. How about the 6th?
I can do that.
Bob, can you do the 6th? In the morning? Okay,
I'll do 6.
since you and Jamie haven't done one yet. And then,
Now we're getting into later August.
yeah, how
Kids
about
are back in
the,
school, hopefully.
hopefully, how about the 25th?
It looks like I should be, let's see, what's the 27th work session? And I can do that one.
Who have you not done
Wait.
one with?
Boston, I have a
I've
wedding to
done-
go to.
Jamie.
No, I did the
You.
June 4th. I did with him.
You.
So I've done one with
Me and
everyone.
Joe
Oh,
did
yeah.
one earlier, didn't we?
No, you had to.
We
You
did
had
the
to
first
take
one.
off because you were going to do
Okay,
June
how about
4th.
me and you?
On what
The
day?
25th?
Okay.
It's a
Is
Tuesday.
that a morning?
No, it's the
It's
evening.
evening.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
At 6?
Let me
That's
ask.
at 6 p.m. on the evening.
I know this is I guess it's not a trivial question. Y'all are doing council thing on what, let's just say Joe and I are doing it on the 4th. If Bob just wants to come by
No,
he can't do it.
no,
No, because that would be a
because it's a
quorum.
meeting.
That'd be a
Especially if you're
quorum, and that
talking
would be
anything,
considered an official meeting.
Ideas of business, and we start floating ideas around and stuff like that, that's considered an illegal meeting, including phone calls too. So that's why it's, you know, he couldn't even call us while we were there or email us while we were there technically, so.
Okay.
Rules.
All right, September. We've got, on this calendar that Barbie gave us, we've got Wednesday from 9 to 10.
And we can change that to Thursdays.
Yeah, why don't we do Thursday?
That's on the second.
That's on the 3rd.
Oh, I think so.
And then we can move the ones I have for the Wednesday 5 to 6 to a Tuesday.
No, Wednesday's fine. I was just doing Tuesdays before. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I can do the
are you,
third.
can you do Wednesdays in the evenings, or is it just Wednesdays in general you couldn't?
Wednesdays, I have something, I have a 9 to 10:30 every Wednesday.
Okay, but you can do
Every
something in the evening?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
And I'm good
And
for
then
the
we'll-
evening too.
And I'll
I'm
change the
good for
time
that.
from 6 to
Okay.
7.
So let's do Thursday the 3rd
Okay.
at 10. Who wants to do that? Jamie, have you and I
I'm
done one? Let's
No.
do, me and you?
we have, but let's do
I
that.
can
Okay.
do one too, I mean, I'm available.
Okay,
All right, so who wants to take it?
me and Jamie. And then what about the evening of the 16th? Bob, have you and
What?
Jamie done one? Bob, what about you and Jamie?
Yeah, I thought Jamie was gonna be doing that with me.
On the 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. At 6?
Uh-huh. Oh, 6, okay, good spot, okay.
And
I'll change,
And then-
I'll change the
The only
times.
thing right now I can tell you is if, depending on faith formation.
No, I know,
that
me
teaches
too.
in the evenings, I may be,
I know, me too. So let's hold off since we're getting into like school and.
This is a good start.
Yeah,
Okay,
Give
so
us
I'll
through
send you
September.
updates through September, and I'll send them to you individually by email.
perfect.
And I'll also give you a hard copy in your mailbox or news.
and how do we present that to the community? It's like, it's just open, we're here to talk, so first come, first serve, if 2 people show up or 2
I'll make a
different-
little blurb of it, and I'll have the dates, and then I'll send you all a copy of it to get your input
Okay.
on if you want to change
No,
whatever's
no,
in
no,
the
I'm saying
blurb.
for the community, while we're here,
It'll-
we come here.
Yeah, it'll go out in the same format on social media that I
Okay.
put out everything. But before I put it out, I'm gonna type up the blurb, and then you all can let me know if you want to change it, or if there's,
I don't think that's what I'm asking.
I'm sorry.
What I'm asking is, say Kim and are scheduled, and Jamie are scheduled for a certain day, at 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay, now, it's an open meeting, right?
Mhm.
You wanna come by, you can come by.
Mhm.
How do we let the community know, if 2 people come by separately, not knowing that is there an opportunity for
I would
them to
just
say,
say, I would just say first come, first serve.
right?
And
then-
if you wanna schedule an appointment, then schedule an appointment. And if those times don't work for you, then we will make ourselves available.
Well,
Just
that's what's
like-
gonna be communicated in the blurb. So
Yeah.
Okay.
if you need me to change it up
That's
to
fine.
make
I
it
mean-
clear, then I'm gonna have all that in the blurb as to how they go about
Perfect.
meeting
No, I
law.
think that's good.
And the date and the times.
Yeah, and I think we look at it from a council standpoint, if we're sitting there at 10 o'clock and someone is there and we start talking to them, we're free to keep going with them. But if someone shows up, I said, look, I wanna give them
Yeah,
some time, and we'll
absolutely.
need to cut this, but let's continue at another time and show respect that they made the effort to come and visit it, you know, because we don't necessarily want appointments. I'm probably, and I'm maybe a little bit, I'm sure we'll be sitting here a lot working on our computers with nobody here, which
And
is
that's
fine.
fine.
But we're-
I got
Okay,
a lot
so
of
you don't
finding
want-
out.
you don't
I
want it
those
to be an
emails.
appointment
Yeah.
type thing.
No,
So
well,
what
like
if
the
a
first
group
Yeah.
would call me and say, well,
think it would be
can they
smart
meet
for
with
them to call.
with my neighborhood?
Yeah.
So are you up to that? or
We
is-
can meet, we're willing to meet with anyone, just remind them it's the opinion
Yeah.
of whoever's there. It's not necessarily a vote or
Yep.
it's a thing, but it's something that could be brought up to a future meeting and stuff. you know.
And I would bring this calendar back in, well, I was gonna say July, but we still won't know what our fall
Yeah, we need
schedule
to know
looks
what fall
like.
schedules are like for
So
everybody.
we'll have to do
Will you
it.
know by the,
August
by
work session.
August?
Yeah.
Probably.
August.
So August work session?
Yeah. Perfect. Good job. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, and let's do this, instead of doing it for the whole year, let's just do it 3 months in advance and then pick another date and then do
Yeah. Three
months
or
of
four.
appointments
Yeah, I
and
think
stuff,
that's
where we
good.
can be flexible and
I agree.
be,
I
this
agree.
way, I don't wanna sit here for going through the year.
Nope, I agree. Okay.
And is that, by the way, considered a mandatory meeting that you must meet for a stipend?
No, that's
I'm just
extra,
kidding.
smart pants.
Extra credit.
That's
You get
extra stuff we're
credit.
giving for the
Yeah.
community.
Or earning our dollars. All right,
Okay.
next up is, review meeting minutes for 2/7/2020, retreat 3/9 of 2020, joint meetings with planning board, 3/10/2020, budget and regular, 3/26/2020, work session virtual, 4/7/2020, budget and regular, virtual. Barbie.
How do you want to do this, since we're not really set up to do it like we were doing it? How do you want to proceed, for a little while till there's some type of normalcy, and we're not,
When you say we're not set up to, you mean
Well,
putting up
'cause-
on the board where we can?
right, because before I was doing it, doing it on the fly, where I had the laptop and it was up on there.
Right.
But
Well, I think
but I don't know
having
if
the
it would
minutes
be difficult to do
before
that
us
with
need-
the connection.
Yeah, I think having the minutes before us, and for someone like Bob, who's not gonna be able to see the screen as well,
Yeah,
he could be reading along and
I think
and
that's
have
fine.
that.
We gotta get them approved. So I say let's just, Bob can look through and we can tell him what page we're on and what we wanna change. And then Barbie, you can either just make a note or.
I can do with
Yeah.
with note if you want.
Yeah,
If
I mean, I
that
don't think we
works-
need to pull it
That
up.
works for me if that works
Yeah.
for you.
The only thing I noticed was on March 10th, as I was reading through here on page 3, it said
What?
the second sentence.
Well, hold on, Bob,
Listen to, yeah.
Bob, hold on. What I'd like to do, if it's okay, instead of jumping around, we'll go to each one. Start with February 7th, have us take a few minutes, peruse what we need to do, and then good to go, or make a correction rather than to jump around. So we'll start, if it's okay with you, on February 7th. And that's the annual retreat. Any additions or concerns?
I didn't have it.
I don't have any.
And I didn't either, so. Maybe you guys can point out that we didn't know how to play the icebreaker game.
Yeah,
I didn't want to call you out or anything.
Jamie and I played it correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's okay, Mayor. I didn't know how to play it either.
Thank you. There's, maybe it's just,
Jamie and
when
I
I
really
grew
want to know how to
up.
play Mad Libs.
No, I think, note to self, learn how to play Mad Libs.
All right, I'm good on that.
So
one.
these,
Yeah.
are you good? Good housekeeping work, please? Okay, so these are good, so I don't have to do anything with these. Okay.
Okay, so we don't need a motion to approve those then?
No, because
No,
they're.
because they're gonna come back to the consent.
Okay.
Once I make the changes, they'll come back to the consent for you all
Okay.
to
Very
approve
good.
that point.
All right, so next up we have March 9th, 2020.
I'm good there.
Had Tom Traub resigned from planning board at that point?
Yes.
Okay, I'm good.
Good.
Good as well, Bob, you're okay?
I'm fine with that with you.
All right, moving on. And a quick, save a little bit of money and time for Barbie. Well, no, you're gonna have to redo, or any changes. If there's no changes, then
If
my,
there's no change, I'm just putting good on there and,
I understand that, but for preparing the packets, instead of printing these all again, we have them, we know that, I just don't wanna waste paper and stuff like that unless you can go back, but I know we waste a lot of paper when I see all these minutes.
I understand, well,
Yeah. but we
you have
to
two separate notebooks. You have a work session, you
Right.
have regular, so
Yeah.
if I would be happy not to reprint them if you want me to. You can't, you'll just need to remember to
Yeah.
move them over to your consent.
Right, that's where, and I'm just.
So,
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep y'all from having to
It's
do
up,
work.
it's up to I guess the individuals spend on it, but sometimes just go back to review and stuff, so. Okay, so we're at March 10th, or did we?
No, it's,
We're good.
you're at the budget work session.
I'm good with the budget work session on March 10th.
Budget work session, March 10th, okay?
I'm good.
I'm good on that one too.
I'm
Councilman
good.
Margulies, you good?
Yep. All right, I'm good as well. Next up, we have March 10th, regular meeting.
That's where I saw page 3, this is just very small, down at the bottom, where it says council discuss this item in department. It's missing an
I'm
H.
sorry, in depth.
What page is that on?
That was on page 3, on number
I see it.
2, where it says,
I got.
I usually always focus on comments because I know I'll be saying something that, we don't have comments on that. Oh, do we?
yes.
Where are they?
You mean public
Oh,
comments or
there it is,
ours?
there it is.
Barbie, number 3 on page 4. We just need the, and number 4.
Oh, so sorry.
That's okay. And then number 1, new business, same
Okay.
thing. And number 2, new business, same thing.
What's that?
It just, instead of depth, it just,
I forgot to type the
GEPT.
H.
That's fine.
I'll go back and change it.
All right, everyone good on that?
I'm still looking for it. Okay, I'm good.
Jamie and Bob?
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah, good as well. Next up, we have March 26th, work session virtual. By the way, nice job on these, Barbie. You did good.
Yeah, I was trying to because the next one, the April one is pretty long because it was a quasi judicial
Right.
in one area, so it had to be verbatim. But you haven't got there yet.
We want to talk about on page 2 of 4, up at the top, any more of our conversation? Do we want to put any more in that?
Where are you going, Mom?
Discussion of law enforcement on page 2 of 4, very top. It just says we conducted a call with, we didn't go into associated with the contract language, obviously, but that we also talked about, you know, concerns of them wanting to raise, or him suggesting he may want to raise the price of an officer cost. I mean, I don't know
We
if
know that.
we have that deep. What?
I mean, I can add that in association with the contract language and an additional, officer if you'd like
Well,
to.
not additional officer, but you talked about,
He was talking about charging us more for the officers.
yeah,
Increase in
And-
the
and-
additional, deputies.
not additional deputies, increasing the cost per hour for his deputies to serve on that.
For
Right?
directing traffic,
For directing traffic, yes.
yes.
Can, would that, could I say traffic calming or you want me to put directed traffic?
Well, I think we refer to those guys on the corner when they're there. It's
Those
a
are
volunteer
our
traffic
off-duty guys.
calming, off-duty traffic calming
Okay, so
officers.
increased cost of,
The potential of
off-duty.
increasing a cost.
Yeah, the
cost of that,
potential.
yeah.
increased cost of off-duty officers per hour for directing traffic. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make that change.
Joe, did you physically hear an alarm go off
Good.
regarding the stay-at-home order?
Where is that at?
Open topics. The first one. Did you physically hear an alarm?
No, I don't know, reported alarms going off, but there was a notice sent out to all public officials, and I assume as mayor, I was being copied on that.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was like a, I was unsure about what that
Yeah,
meant.
Well, I can change that
alarms
to
going
put,
off.
Just
I mean, that's what,
He
that's
said.
what he said
I'm sure
on the
he did.
recorder, so, but I can, it doesn't have to be verbatim, I can just say you received notice.
Received notice regarding stay-at-home for, as a public official for stay-at-home. Mecklenburg County imposed the stay-at-home order. I'm good there, so.
Me too.
Bob and Jamie?
Good.
I'm,
I'm good with the April 7th budget meeting.
Yep, I'm good there as well.
Holy crap.
Yeah, the next one is pretty long, because it has to be verbatim in one area. So are we good with the budget work session for
Yeah.
April 7th?
I'm fine.
In the process of time, do you want to table this and add it to, us all review it, make the changes on the regular meeting?
You can, if
And
you
just
prefer.
everyone go through it, because I'll be honest, I did not look at everything. I do want to make sure we have this correct as far as, so we'll make
The
changes.
April 7th?
I'm gonna make a motion to table this one, but to be prepared to add it to the agenda on the meeting and with any additions or hopefully, if there are additions, it would be on the following agenda, correct? Or we could make it,
No, that will be, the June 9th is your action.
right,
I can put all the other ones on the
Yeah,
consent.
right.
And I can physically put this one under unfinished business.
Okay.
For you all to discuss and consider for
we'll make a
approval.
motion to approve it as amended, yes, okay. Is that okay for everyone?
Yep.
We move forward on
That's
that? Okay. And then, so we're on to the next one, right?
Yep.
Good. See? See how that works? Alright. Thank you. Next up, we have discussion of planning board, oh wait, did I get a motion on that? A motion to table that?
Yeah, you didn't vote on that.
Okay, I'm gonna get a motion to table the April 7th meeting minutes into our regular work session,
No, June 9th, you're
June
gonna do it
9th.
at the regular meeting.
regular meeting, June 9th, to be approved and amended and approved at that meeting.
And place all the other ones on the consent agenda
and-
as amended.
And place on all the other ones on the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, okay. So moving on. So, discussion of planning board applications for a vacancy.
In your packet, you have two candidates for planning board that submitted their application and the necessary documentation for the seats. These are the only applications that I've received for planning board. And then once you select the candidate, we'll place them on the June 9th for you to appoint.
Well, I think we probably need to call these people and chat with them. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we can also make a motion to take the time between now and each individual, if we have a contact phone number for them, make an effort on your own to reach out to
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then come back and
For at the
thumbs
June
up or
meeting.
thumbs down for the June meeting. So we'll have a holding place for planning board.
Yeah, so I can put this on the June 9th, and you all can appoint at that time whatever candidate you wanted to select.
So we can talk at that point, anything about planning board then, right?
Yes, sir.
This is where you have.
Yeah, it would be a discussion and consideration of appointment.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
we
fine.
need, we need a motion for that, or just, we'll just do
No,
that? Okay.
these are just the
All right,
applications.
so that's our homework, one of our homeworks for that. Put that aside. And so I'm shuffling papers here as I'm gonna leave that in there. Okay, and then, so next up is proclamation to honor Marvin graduates. So this, I think we initially were going with Marvin Ridge, and then it became anyone graduating, including 8th graders, kindergarten, anyone that was moving on, college graduates, Marvin. We'll save it.
Not kindergarten. Kindergarten's
Not
not going
kindergarten.
anywhere.
Not kindergarten, but whatever it is that.
5th graders.
5th graders. Everyone graduates these days, so. So, anyone have any comments about the proclamation for that? And
And we can change the wording however you want to.
I think what we could do too,
I think we should write a letter to every graduate.
individually,
Yeah, congratulating them.
what time in the morning? No, I think what we should do is, once we have this and I sign this, that we send this out to all HOAs and allow them to distribute it to because they know who the graduates are in their community, correct? Now, we're not gonna catch everyone, but we'll get the majority of them, because not everyone has the sign and list of all those
But we
things.
also send out through MailChimp. We put it on social media. We put it everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So add
We'll
it to
put
the social media thing then, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, this would be a perfect tool to get out there.
Okay,
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
What do you think?
You're good with the wording and everything?
Yeah.
We
What are
don't
you
want to
thinking?
Without getting too cumbersome with it, is there a way that, because I know it's gonna be a little more difficult because you have the 5th graders and the 8th graders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I just thought it would be special for the seniors that are going from the 12th graduating high school. That something like this could have been done specifically for the seniors with your, you sit here for 30 minutes and do a handwritten one for the seniors.
all individual, no problem with that, if we can get that list. maybe
I
put
just
out.
think it's in light of, those seniors are really, this may never happen again.
Yeah, and
And
they
if
never,
those seniors can get that's something they can put in their folder packet that says, from the Village of Marvin. Who else is gonna do that? But I think it's a good touch to go, to be able to put it on something that really looks
like official, they can have
official.
framed if they want.
Right, they can have framed or whatever, and it's signed by you, and hand it to the HOA and say, this is for the graduating seniors.
Are you
Right,
talking about their individual names on there? Or
No,
just-
I don't, no, not their names.
Okay.
And if we had them, that'd be great, but to,
Just,
I mean, I'll maybe offer it in one of the blurbs that if you want an individual, signed copy of the proclamation, that I'd be willing to do it. I thought about that there's other things that kids get at the elementary school. What's the?
Certificate of
Terrific
appreciation or.
No, it's Terrific
out-
Kid Week. They get noticed by the community.
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis Club, and just those few kids every week going forward,
every month.
every month, whatever it is, they have a little breakfast. So you know better than
I do.
Can I suggest something?
I know everything better.
Based on your suggestion, we could make the proclamation instead of a proclamation like this, but make it like a certificate. And we're talking about how many high schools? One? Okay, I could call the high school, and that's Marvin Ridge. I can call Marvin Ridge and see if the principal will give me the names of the graduating seniors.
Yep.
And we can do the certificate for those seniors based on what we have here. And then we have a proclamation for
Everybody else.
everyone else to recognize everyone else.
But just remember that the list of seniors is gonna include non-Marvin residents.
right. So it's not gonna be as extensive, and that's why I'm saying, I think that would give it a special touch for it to be.
And you're gonna need to call Weddington High School too, because you've got,
It's gonna be a lot of work for you.
yeah.
Well, I was just trying to, I mean, if we're going to do it just for the seniors, then that was
I
going
mean,
to
I
be
like the
a
idea of having a
recommendation.
certificate, but I think probably the easiest thing to do would just be contact all the HOAs
Okay.
and say, send me a list of your graduating seniors.
from Marvin High School.
No, because you've got Weddington too.
So are you doing them individually at that point, or are you?
Yeah. But the HOA is gonna have to get us the information.
Right.
We could still do a proclamation and just change the verbiage in paragraph 4.
Yeah,
Where it
to
says
just high
graduating
schools.
students, and it just says graduating students of Marvin Ridge, or whatever school it is, and leave it at that, and not put their individual names. That would
No, because you want the elementary, middle, and high, you want all that
be, no,
stuff.
we could do 2 different ones.
Oh,
We
okay,
can
two
do
different
two different types.
I'm just trying to,
No, make it special
the
for
class of 2020 will go down as, I was in the class of 20, they'll have that the rest of their life.
But we can order some really nice letterhead and get like a sealed sticker.
Yeah. And then be like, if you want it, it will be at Village Hall, come by and pick it up. We're not gonna hand deliver this stuff.
Can we leave a space to write in their name? Handwrite their name in?
Well,
Sure, when you're signing it, Joe, you sure can.
if you set this up as a merged document and I have a list of the names, then I can merge that name into the merged document. And then print it, but you would have to sign each individual
Okay.
one unless you want to use your electronic signature that we have on file.
No, do the
but,
paper
Do
ink.
it ready.
But yeah, I mean, if I have a list, I can easily
Orange,
merge
blue and
them.
orange.
I can easily merge them into wherever we wanted to stick
Right.
this.
I think
here.
that's a special touch, and I just,
It's something that Marvin offers. It's being a part of Marvin.
So
did
what
it
I
for-
can do, what we can change is whereas, and then we could put, Betsy Ross.
Right.
Student, graduating senior of blah, blah, blah.
right.
And then,
So I agree with the 2 separates that include everyone. Let's do something because again, I don't remember ever having a graduating class of 5th grade or 8th grade for that matter. But I do remember my high school, and yeah, I do remember my college graduation, but you know, it's, I think high school is a bigger deal.
Well,
As my kids would say, did they have high school back then?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, roads.
We learned on the farm. But yeah, that would be great if we could populate. And then I think what all we would do is, again, we're not gonna catch everyone, but because not every neighborhood has an HOA. But if we can do it for each neighborhood, what we're trying to accomplish, a personalized proclamation for your graduating Marvin High School student is how we'd want to put that blurb out there so we can get some feedback right away. And that, I mean, they already have the names.
Well, they do, because
yeah, because
already
I've
put up
seen
the
them,
signs.
I've seen the
Yeah.
banners
Yeah.
out there for each one of them.
Someone in their
Worst case
HOA
scenario,
has
I
the
can go and
names
take a picture of
and we
each of
can
those
have
banners.
and then
Yeah,
instead of
but
us
then how are
mailing
they
them
gonna
out.
know? You need to tell the HOA president to then disseminate it through their neighborhood.
And then what we'll do is we'll have all their individual names, I'll sign it personally, and then we will deliver to the HOA president for them to distribute, so we don't get into where
No,
their
I told
addresses.
them to come by here and pick them up.
But,
Okay.
well,
All right,
HOAs to come by, an HOA to come by
There
and
you
pick
go.
up the things,
Yeah.
and then they can.
Yeah, ask the
they can-
president to come by the
Yeah,
village
or
hall to
some,
pick up
somebody on the
their
board.
students, and we'll have those ready.
I mean, like ours.
Is that
I don't
okay,
mind dropping
Bob?
off.
Do you like that idea?
I'm good.
So
Okay.
when is graduation?
Never.
Well, I mean, when was the actual
It's been-
date
I mean-
for graduation?
13th, yeah.
Okay, June
No,
13th?
12th. It was Friday the 12th.
June, May 12th
No.
or
June
June
12th.
12th? Okay,
The ninth
Alright.
for 8th graders, I think.
All right.
Eighth.
Ours was the
Eighth.
9th.
Yeah, 8th graders.
The 5th
Yeah.
was, yeah. Okay.
And so, but we're not.
so do you like the idea of putting it in the certificate form for the seniors, or
Yes.
do you want me to do it as,
Good job.
as a
Yeah,
proclamation,
I like-
like what we have?
I like
Nice
the certificate.
Card stock that we have
Do
available.
we have
Seal.
do we have a seal?
We have to.
We have, I had, the only thing I have is, we have an embosser, but it's so old, it doesn't pick up anything, but I do have a stamp, but, we can figure something out. Yeah, I can get some,
Stickers.
yeah.
Okay.
It'll take a couple days probably.
Okay.
And what I could possibly do is try to figure out how to get it on the seal, I don't know, we'll see.
Okay. Good job, everybody.
So that's
I like it.
And, okay, very good. I'll talk about the council comments, the parade, but it
Oh,
was
come on.
very
let's
well.
go. Chop, chop,
Okay,
chop.
next up, we have, discussion Union County interlocal agreement, Rohit.
Alright. So maybe you have this in your packet, the actual contract. So for the Union County critical intersections, they've chosen the first 5 of the 15. They're going forward with the RFQs, and well, they've already gotten the bids back. And so one of them is Marvin's intersection, Waxhaw Marvin and Bonds Grove Church Road. And so the county is asking us for the 2,500 that we pledged in a resolution several months ago, but now they've presented the actual contract in which we would deliver the $2,500 in the next fiscal year.
And this is just for the study of this intersection?
It is, yes.
So there was a study done a couple of years ago, or a year or so ago, that ended at Bonds Grove, and Nick and I were at that meeting, and we asked, why aren't they, just, traffic doesn't stop there, so it just wasn't in the plan, so now they're just adding an additional $2,500 to.
Is it for both or total?
No, there was 2 intersections. One of them is in the first set, and which is this one, Waxhaw Marvin and Bonds Grove. And so what happened is that that intersection was on the 2016 critical intersections list, but there was not funding at the time. And now the county has arranged this joint funding.
But is Waxhaw Marvin and Bonds Grove Church in Marvin?
It is.
That
I'll show you-
corner?
show
Okay.
you where it is on that, actually. It's
Okay. No, I know where it is. I just didn't realize it was on Marvin.
So-
In Marvin.
right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I positive, because I've seen it, that we have already spent, what's the road company that does the design?
Kimley Horn?
Kimley Horn did some proposals for that intersection of line of sight and a possible roundabout, and so we have information somewhere in the past that maybe can help with
That's
this.
a great idea.
this
I'll make sure to
process.
forward that too. But Kimley Horn did not.
They have it, Kimley Horn has it, they did it for us, I don't know if we paid for it, but that was one,
Yeah,
their target list for
I've seen that in the survey.
intersections, okay.
I've seen that.
Okay, so we need to utilize that, but, I'm fine with, these kind of things need to be done, and we need to support them, especially when we have,
So you just
Intersection
wanna,
consent.
you just want us to put this on the consent agenda?
Yeah, that's the contract that they provided.
Has Chaplin seen this?
Chaplin has not seen this yet.
Okay. So as soon as Chaplin sees it and approves it, we can throw it on the consent agenda if he's good
Or we
with
can
it?
just make it contingent upon his review.
and again, this can, if
I don't know, I
possible,
want it
things
on
like
that.
this can be
Okay.
pulled from
Powell
Yeah,
bill?
consent.
Yes.
Or-
Powell bill fund.
Yeah, but I think.
We've already budgeted for this.
We did,
The study.
It wouldn't come out of Powell bill then,
okay,
but it can.
okay,
But we
Maybe
budgeted
the
for
actual
general.
construction of it, if we're gonna cost share that in the, 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
That could come out from Powell bill, but the study is already budgeted for next year.
So we wouldn't pay for it until next fiscal year.
The upcoming one,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, we'll put it on consent after Chaplin looks at it?
Yeah, that's fine. We
Okay.
can do that.
okay.
Okay.
Any action on that?
Nope.
Open topics.
Got nothing.
Bob?
Topics for me.
I know we're gonna, okay, yeah, I think we'll, for the meeting, regular meeting, we're gonna have a couple of discussions, I think we can include that in there, so, I'm just looking. All right. I don't have anything for open topics either. Anyone else?
Nope.
Okay, moving on, reports and updates. Administrator's report, first up.
Yeah, so I actually, if y'all recall, several months ago, we hired First Tryon to do some financial analysis work for us. And they're available the week of June 15th, if y'all have availability to meet, go over capital projects for the next 5 years. In that meeting, they would go over the model with us that we briefly showed you at one of the previous meetings, where they would actually plug in all of our capital projects, including Village Hall, different options, whatever we decide, to kind of show you tax impact wise what that would be in 5, 10, 20 years.
Okay.
No, she wants an answer. Are you guys available June 15th?
The week of.
June 15th. We have to be here.
It'll make sense.
So June 15th is a Monday.
Just sometime that week. Are you available that week?
Anytime that week you're available?
Except Wednesdays from 9 to 10:30.
Yeah.
Bob, what about you that week?
Yeah, I'm actually good that whole week, so, I'm open.
I most likely will be, but I could be here if it's a meeting that you're asking for. I could probably be here and remote, because I most likely will be not available or
Okay.
local.
So anybody that's gonna participate remotely, I'd like to meet with you before the meeting so I can show you kind of what to expect so you understand it when we're talking.
Okay.
So we'll, Councilmember Markleese, if you're gonna be participating remote in that meeting as well, I'd like to meet with you before the meeting to kind of show you
Okay.
what the model looks like.
And I'm not saying I won't be here, I'm just saying I most likely will. I think we have family coming in or something.
So we'll do a special meeting before that,
Okay.
a special call meeting.
Sooner I know the better, and then I can lock it off if I can and bring it to you.
So, I'm sorry, did we come up with a specific time? Is it on the 15th at a specific time?
No, we're just saying the week of the 15th.
I'm gonna get with the
Okay.
vendor and ask specific availability, but he was available sometime that week, so I'll give you a date and see if it works for y'all, and we can go from there.
Okay.
The next thing I have, Mr. Mayor, is the roundabout update. As you all know, we've been anticipating construction in 2021 for the third roundabout at the corner of Newtown and Marvin Road. That has been pushed back due to budget issues that NCDOT is having, and we're now looking at May of 2022 before they begin.
Wait a minute, why did you say 2024?
2022.
Okay,
We
It's
have.
not much better.
We have got the $250,000 check that they were holding for our portion of it. We've got that back, and we're holding that, so we're getting interest on our own money now. We're just gonna have to wait for them to overcome these budget issues and start on the project.
That's not good. That's not one we're getting excited about to put out in the newsletter, you know. But
Hey, if
I
you're not
mean,
happy about it,
we're
call
not happy
DOT.
about it. Yeah, call your local DOT because
Well,
this is not.
I do believe that that's something that needs to go out, communication, because people always ask about it.
Yeah.
And we need to remind them and factually state that, you know, this issue is from DOT, not anything that's out of our control.
Right.
But, you know, any concerns that you might have regarding that, or any, you know, time change, please refer to NCDOT.
We can get
But
that.
that's a great communication to send out.
And
Oh, by the way,
here's who you contact.
but oh, by the way, the $250,000 that we sent to the state of North Carolina, we've requested that back and have received that back, and now drawing interest on our own money. However, the downside to this is that money is not being utilized to do the improvements that, you know, that we needed to
And
get
that,
done.
and that we are diligently working with our partners to try to get it,
Yeah, we're in
Back on
constant
track.
communication.
but, you know, it may take some, you know, community involvement to,
You could,
We have
it could be-
also-
Squeaky wheel.
We have, just so y'all know, we have also sent a request to all of our state legislators asking them for any type of assistance that they could
to-
give in getting this done.
let's
So
keep doing that, because this is ridiculous. That intersection is horrible.
in light of the timeline being moved out, council has requested the refund of the money until this is further moved along. It's just, it's a way of how you present
But that should absolutely go out.
we're just putting
We will.
lipstick on the pig.
I'd say do that like Monday or Tuesday.
So the last thing I wanted to mention is, y'all had requested an update on personnel as far as the finance director and the park maintenance associate. We, again, have sent out the notice to several different places for the finance officer. We haven't had any applications to date. However, the closing date is not until June 15th. Usually people wait till the last minute to submit. We have had some calls and questions about it that we've answered, so hopefully we'll be getting some applications in before that closing date. 2 recommendations have been made for a part hiring. One of them is for a part-time seasonal associate. His name is Amari Snipes, and he would, Derek is recommending he be hired at 10 hours a week at $10 an hour, just for the summer. So I'm asking that recommendation to be approved by council. In addition to that, there was a full-time position in the budget for next fiscal year for a park maintenance associate, and we have actually had a reduction in hours of what's been used, or reduction of spending that's been used for our park maintenance associates that were part-time in this year's budget, because we've had some vacancies. So we have enough money to go ahead and hire him starting before the fiscal year. And I just wanted to make note that our personnel policy does state the full-time employee hours start at 37. We are hiring this individual at 30 hours a week, so I would need an exemption for those hours that are stated in that personnel policy so that he could be eligible for benefits. We have budgeted for full benefits, and
But full-time is 30 hours, correct?
not according to our personnel policy. It says 37. So we would need to exempt him
When did
from
that
that
change?
section. I don't know, it's in our personnel, I don't know when it changes in our personnel policy.
Okay, I always thought it was, I thought that was a federal,
And it very well may be, I'm not sure.
like 32 hours
I
is
thought
considered
32 was
full-time.
considered.
Yeah.
We,
I thought-
our personnel policy is very old and outdated, and we are going to change that. We've just been waiting on the salary classification to come back, and
Can we confirm that we're not violating any federal
yeah, we will.
when we, I mean, if that's our policy, I mean, so you're just saying you have a better likelihood of finding someone if you. did
We have a
provide-
recommendation. His name's John Lucas. He's been interviewed. Derek put the applications out for several weeks. He received 2 applications. He reviewed 2 individuals. This was his recommendation. He has 3 years of experience in lawn care and machinery, which is what he's going to be doing at the park. So Derek's recommendation is to hire him at the rate that we had budgeted for, 30 hours a week with benefits. I just need to make sure y'all understand that in our personnel policy, it says full-time employees are at 37 hours. We're asking him to be a full-time at 30 hours
So,
and be eligible for
and
benefits.
he's requesting the full-time benefits?
That's what we budgeted for and that's what we advertised for.
So it's already in the budget. So at this point, we would just be taking it, approving that 30 hours.
Yes, as
And just for
considering a
this
full-time.
individual
Right.
case, for this?
Just for him, yes.
Is this because we don't need more than 30 hours and that's all he can do?
That's how we budgeted for. We budgeted the
So
total
we,
salary
so
of
we knew we were
27.
gonna have this problem in the beginning. If we budgeted for only 30 hours and we also said that we would give benefits with it, that's violating our own, what we put out is kind of violating.
Well,
our
we
own.
just didn't, it wasn't that we didn't, we just didn't touch, we didn't dig that deep.
That's right.
Okay,
We didn't look at our personnel policy to look at
Right.
the definition of what a full-time employee was. We just knew that we could only afford somebody a certain number of hours with a certain
Okay.
wage. We budgeted $27,000. I mean, we're really not gonna get anybody cheaper than that. And we had estimated a certain number of hours. I've got it here.
and all they're doing is basically mowing and trimming and does it include
Walking the trails, cleaning up the
making sure all
trails.
maintenance?
If a tree falls, take care of that stuff.
52 weeks divided our times 30. 1,500. I'll tell you how much he makes an hour. Roughly $17, $18 an hour.
Or maybe all of them.
So that's where we're at. I mean, if y'all want to have some time to consider it, that's fine, but that's the recommendation is to hire Mr. Lucas at 30 hours a week, making sure that we are okay with allowing the full-time employee to be defined at 30 hours a week and eligible for all benefits.
So do you want us to do that now?
So,
If y'all want him to go ahead and start, yes, but we can add it on the consent.
again, my concern is that what's the federal law? Is it 32 hours and we should follow that guideline because I don't think if we go any, I don't want to be making it appear that we're doing something unique for one person and the next person comes in that we're, oh, okay, now it's 27 hours for whatever
We can check
it
it.
is.
We can check it.
But do we have to then change the budget?
We would and make sure that he's okay with additional hours, which I think he would be fine, and we can find some funding to do that. It's not a big deal.
Because if 32 was the number, which I believe it is,
I think it is too. I'm almost positive.
you're basically changing the budget for
$2, 2 hours
2 hours.
of work. And I just don't want to be, that's the only the issue I have.
Okay.
If we can confirm that and we can somehow find the work for 32 hours, that's what we're gonna,
Are y'all okay with the part-time hiring? of the summer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So if everyone's okay with that, we'll go ahead and proceed with that, and then we'll get the definition of the federal full-time hours, and then we'll bring it back at the consent meeting.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Me
All right.
too.
Do we need to make a motion for that or no?
If there's a consensus, we'll go ahead and proceed with the
All right.
part-time.
Proceed away.
Great. All right,
You done?
I'm done.
thank you. Next up, we have planners report.
All right, so in the planners report, I've actually put the agenda, so you can look at that, but, basically, there is a group that we got in contact with at the NC Main Street Conference called CPNI. It's, I think it stands for, off the top of my head, Construction Professionals Network Institute, and they're a volunteer, a nonprofit organization of engineers and architects and et cetera, who provide consulting for municipalities for specific projects like our village center. So they are offering to hold us a workshop, and that'll be virtual. They normally hold it those kinds of things in person, but in this case it'll be virtual, June 11th and 12th. So in the agenda you'll see that June 11th is in the afternoon and June 12th is in the morning. That's a Thursday and Friday. And it's free, and because they're a nonprofit, they're just doing this out of, a group of people doing this out of a passion for transformative public projects. And I think this is a really blessed opportunity for us. Mayor Polino's always said, none of us in this room have ever created a project like this, but and we don't know what we don't know, but these people do. They do know what we don't know, and they're offering that knowledge to us for free. So, so I wanted to tell you about this. We're having this workshop, and also obviously to invite you. You can come, you can see the sections, and you can come to whichever sections. You don't have to come to the whole 4 hours of each day, because that would be a lot. So that's it. For the planning board, I think at least 3 people have said that they wanted to come, so that would be we're thinking of, instead of doing a special meeting, that we would do a notice of potential quorum. So in that case, there's no agenda, there's no action in case there is a quorum.
And they have opportunity for Q&A on this Zoom call?
Yes. So for you guys, there would be a back and forth. It's a workshop.
And it's only for us, obviously.
Yeah, it's for us. They're hosting it for us specifically.
This is great. 11th and 12th?
Yeah.
And we'd have to be here to participate. I couldn't dial in from.
You could dial in. It's going to be a Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just all doing it here. Where we have
So you
potential.
can
Fully
send out,
virtual.
you can send out all that
Yeah, I
information
can.
once you guys
Yeah, I
have
have. I just got the Zoom link like yesterday, and it's going to be one that we can also give to the public. So because if it's a potential quorum, then it has to be open to the public. There might be a potential quorum of planning board members as well.
it. Okay.
So if we open up to the public and a bunch of people want to sign in, is there any issues with all those people on the call, or is there a limit on Zoom? I don't even know.
Yeah, they're gonna have a limit of 99 people, but
I think we'll be
don't
fine.
anticipate that we'll hit that limit. Also, they're doing pre-registration. They're gonna be the ones hosting the virtual meeting, unlike here where we're hosting it. But they're doing pre-registration just so they know who's attending and who should be allowed to speak and not.
So we just need to make sure that we say that there's a potential planning board quorum and council quorum.
Right. And in that notice, and you've seen this before, it just basically says, there may be a quorum, there's no agenda, there's no action.
Have we invited Park Rec and Greenway to this?
No, I just kind of finalized this meeting like a week ago, and so
I think
I'll
it would
bring
be good to, because I'm sure that some of this stuff is, walking trails and
Mhm.
connectivity and stuff, so it might be good.
Yeah, I'll bring it up at the meeting next week.
So it's a Zoom meeting on
Thursday at 1.
Yeah. Thursday 1 to 4 and Friday I think it's 9 to 12, but again it's broken down into sections. You can see which section is about what. So you can come to whichever section you want. If you want to be here for the beginning, to start brainstorming, that's fine. If you want to be here for the end, for more of like the results of the workshop, that's fine too.
Cool. Will you bring this back up and remind us about it in our June 9th meeting?
Oh, sure.
As it will be closer. And since we're on your planner's report, is the preserve trail done?
Well, the part that the developer is responsible for, yes.
Right, okay,
It's
so it's,
approved by our engineer.
yeah, we're good to
And
go.
it looks good. I actually walked it earlier this week and it looks great.
Okay, good. So that's probably another blurb we can send out. New preserve trail open.
Yeah. It's open. It looks better than the first time they said they were done. And
Good, because that was a little,
yeah.
I mean, granted, it was better than Amber Meadows' first
Mhm.
pass, so. Okay, that'd be another good blurb. Blurb, blurb.
One more thing that's not on my agenda. I did bring this up in the beginning. Our planning intern started last Monday, and he's on the call. He's been listening the whole time with Matthew Blazik. If you want to say hey or something, you
Hey.
go ahead.
Welcome.
Someone was asking for like a bio on me. Was that just a mistake? I think I got an email. So
That was
That was
Austin.
in Austin.
Austin.
That was
yeah.
Austin for the newsletter.
Yeah, we don't.
Me too, I
But
worked
someone
hard on that,
responded.
man.
You
I worked
did?
hard- I did. It was good too.
Is there much to talk about?
It, so much, but mine was short and sweet to the point. I'll ruin it. Alright,
Okay.
should we take a quick little recess so you guys can get some pizza?
We could finish the meeting.
Yeah, we finished.
Okay.
the meeting.
You go home?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I have nothing else. I have support.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you.
it.
All right. Next up, we have review of action items and ongoing action items spreadsheet.
Okay, action items from this meeting, we wanna do that first?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. As always, if I forget something, let me know. Councilman Lyons and Christina will schedule a meeting with Banks elders to discuss the village hall options. And Christina will research the value of the corner lot on Marvin School Road and Newtown Road. I wasn't really sure who was gonna do it. Rules in place for interview.
I've got that.
You got that? Okay. And then Barbie will send out a draft letter on petition on website and MailChimp and any other social media platforms. Is that what I heard?
On letterhead.
On letterhead. Christina and Chaplin will discuss with the league and do more research on the defense policy for candidates and advisory boards. Rohit and Christina will meet to develop an annexation plan. Christina will contact Marvin Creek, Canterfield Creek, Bridle Path. I put BP, but I thought I could remember that. Bridle Path and Wyndham Hall on installing the pedestrian refuge and cost sharing. Staff will come up with upcoming items, meeting dates. I guess that would be me. Meeting dates. I think that was for the communication. Rohit will get the attorney to review the Tullamore maintenance agreement. Barbie will place the Tullamore maintenance agreement on consent agenda for June 9th. Derek will supply rental signage at the park and something like, and then we would post plan your next picnic gathering at the park on social media. Rohit will give update on build grant on June 9th and additional municipalities. I wasn't really sure what that was.
I remember. It's just
Okay.
which one signed on, which one didn't,
Okay.
and why.
All right, good deal. Barbie will ask BOA members for willingness to serve, and Barbie will update calendar 3 months for the for June, July, and August, and send those out to council. Village council will call the planning board candidates And then Barbie will craft 2 separate proclamations, one for Marvin seniors and the second one for all other graduates, and contact the HOAs on the seniors in their neighborhood. Rohit will research the interlocal prior study list and review by attorney and put it on the consent for June 9th. And then Christina will confirm federal regs on hours for full-time employees providing benefits.
And roundabout update
I didn't hear that one.
and confirm the special meeting on 6/15.
Roundabout update for what?
For the third
Just
roundabout.
just an update. And what was the second one?
Confirm details for the week of 6/15 special meeting.
Was that 6:15 special meeting?
Mm-hmm.
The week of.
Okay, we go. Okay,
Is that all?
that's it.
The
That's all
only
I
thing
have.
I have for my marching orders, for me personally, is to finish that letter, and I'll send it to you shortly, and then you'll send that out, I think it was on there.
And then send your thing out.
Mhm.
Okay.
And council, just a reminder to review the verbatim minutes for the next meeting, on that too, so, okay?
All right, on to the actual action list.
Action
Ongoing.
list, yep.
Okay, Christina, where are we, Weddington Church?
We haven't contacted them back yet. I'll contact them.
I would,
I was waiting
just to
for-
see.
Their meeting was sometime at the end of May. I don't think it's happened yet, so I was waiting till
Girl, it's the end of May, we got tomorrow. Then it's June.
I called them.
Okay. What are you shaking your head at? June 1st is Monday.
This church over here, we had requested if they're interested in selling.
Okay.
AMT to survey the current Village Hall property for environmental issues. Are we still working on that?
No, we've done that.
We've done that. Okay, so that's completed.
That was basically that. plan that they submitted.
Okay, and then the actual cost for water and sewer for Village Hall extension?
We've estimated that. That was all provided in that
Completed,
general
okay.
estimate. Yeah.
Alright, working on that. Placed on hold. I would just do completed for the additional council seat referendum, Barbie,
Okay.
because we know the answer to that. Dwelling ordinance revision.
That's gonna be likely at a special meeting of planning board, among
Okay.
many other revisions regarding the code ordinance.
Okay, alright. Okay.
Where's dwelling ordinance? I didn't see that.
It's the bottom of the first page. There.
Oh, okay.
Ordinance revision. Barbie, the first one, review action item list, review action items quarterly with council. That just seems to be monthly instead of quarterly. We're gonna do that
I don't know where you're at.
Top of the second page, meeting date is 2/11. Review action item list.
Right here, 2/11.
Usually it's gone from quarterly to monthly.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
And then we need, it says complete by our joint meeting with Park Rec and Greenway. That got canceled because of all the COVID stuff. So and I know you sent us an email. I didn't respond to you.
What's on what?
Park Rec and Greenway joint meeting. It says complete, but we've never had it. So we
Number
just.
2, that's your second item there.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So we need to, because, that was gonna be my next question, because that we're phase 2, are we still under a state of emergency where we can hold all of our meeting, like everybody can be electronic? Okay. Why don't we just get this scheduled with Park Rec and Greenway? Like, we don't have to be in here to do it, we can do it at our houses.
Well, I had sent out an
I know,
email to them
nobody-
too,
did
and
anybody respond?
the only one that I got a response back was Bob Noonenkamp.
What do you say?
He's got a couple of dates in June and a couple of dates in July
That he can't do it, or
that he can, that he's available. So, but that's I mean the next thing was to ask them at their meeting on the 2nd and just pinpoint them down
I mean,
for a date.
Especially if we don't have to be in here to do it. Like, I can be available the week of the 8th, pretty much, of June. So if we can just like get that scheduled, and I guess we can ask them at their meeting on, are you available the week of the 8th?
Oh,
Yeah.
that, where you said it was complete, you're looking at the projects that are completed list. The joint meeting with PRG is the 3/26. So I just wanted to point that out. That's the one that's in orange.
No, I'm up here. I'm not down there, I'm up here.
No,
211 special joint meeting notices. It just says they were scheduled and it says complete. Well, we
yeah,
need
but
to
it's the way
reschedule
it printed because
Yeah.
it's the way it printed. So it's this one, see the
Oh,
next
Okay,
page?
but that's still, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, okay.
Yeah,
No, that's
it's the
fine.
planning board that's completed, it's
Yeah.
not the PRG.
Right. I mean, it was, but then it got canceled.
Right.
I was
Well, we
looking
have a
at
meeting on
backwards.
the 9th, right?
We have a meeting on the 9th,
So you're asking the week of the 9th
the week of the 8th, if you're just available during, like sometime for a joint meeting,
in the morning?
whenever.
Well,
We
I
don't have to be, we don't have to be in
The only thing that's,
here.
okay, well, I have a 4-hour CEU class, a doctor's appointment on Wednesday,
Okay, so Joe's not good on Wednesday that week, the 10th stinks for him.
unless it's Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, I mean, we just need like an hour, right?
Yeah, you just need it.
Bob, are you good that week, just to call in?
I am. I'm good that week,
Okay.
whenever you wanna have it.
Jamie? Jamie's just not available from 9 to 10:30 on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
Wednesday afternoon, shoot for.
Okay, Wednesday afternoon, Joe said shoot for. So let's talk to you, we can talk to them about that on the 2nd. I have to call in for that meeting, by the way.
Okay,
And
that's
that's
At least the
Parks and
beginning of
Greenways
it.
meeting?
I'm gonna get in here, yeah, Parks and Greenways joint meeting. I have an appointment at 9, but I'm gonna hightail it in here to
okay.
try to get in here. Okay, let's see. Complete process. Good, okay. Complete. Rohit, where are we with our roundabout lights?
There's no update since the last time. Sorry.
Can you check with them again?
Sure.
I feel like if you just keep, squeaky wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Barbie, where are we with the website?
I have sent 2 emails to Jared, and I sent him another one today to schedule a call with him. The next step is for, since the committee has already been appointed, is to do the kickoff, and that was right before all the COVID
Okay.
started,
So who's Jared?
Jared Brown is the actual partner, project manager for Granite Sky.
And is he not getting back to you?
I have not heard from him. So the next person I'm going to call is the actual president, which is Mia
that's
Holzhauser.
that's not acceptable.
So I am going to call her today because I have not heard back from him. We need to go ahead and get that scheduled.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. They're not. I mean,
And just so y'all know, we did budget for that project in our operating budget this fiscal year that we're in now. If the work is not complete by June 30th, we will have to do a budget amendment next year. That money will go back into fund balance.
that's fine.
So we'll just have to approach.
I mean, it's gonna be a pain in the butt for everybody to have to do that, but
But I'm just letting y'all know. If
But
we
that's do a
budget
that's
amendment-
unacceptable if he's not getting back to you.
Yes, I don't think it's acceptable either.
Okay. All right, I'm good with that. Anybody got anything else they need to add or want to ask? Nope. Good. Okay.
Good. All right. Bob, you good?
I'm good.
All right, next up, council comments. You want to start, Bob?
Sure. First off, once again, I want to thank the efficiency of the office, and just on everybody's part. Barbie, thank you very much for back and forth and helping
You're
out,
welcome.
coming to the house. Rohit, thank you very much for putting this all together and, making it so it's very easy. As I mentioned yesterday, this will you know, this could actually expand itself where the public can get involved and you know, just be involved on a virtual sake, you know, and be part of the meetings like we discussed. That's gonna take more to do that, but, and Christina, again, thank you for your efficiency in kind of dealing with all that we've been dealing with during the whole process of everything that's been going on. So, thank you very much, and this is very comfortable for me and very safe, so thank you.
It was a team effort to put this together. Barbie helped a lot, and our IT guy also was a champion. So, thank you.
Good deal.
I'm good.
I didn't even ask you yet. You're
That's
good.
fine, I'm still good.
Jamie?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to thank all the first responders out there, locally and statewide, nationally, for all they do, especially through the COVID thing. Thank you to President Trump for his leadership and through the COVID thing, but also the leadership in getting the economy back open. And to take that one step further, the one thing that I've just always kind of got to me a little bit, the people that are shutting down opening businesses should not be allowed to take a paycheck until everyone's business is back open. But it is just concerning to me that the people making decisions to shut someone else's business down is still getting a paycheck. Doesn't seem right in America to me to make that happen. Graduating seniors, gosh, you'll go down in history as being the class of 2020 and not being able to walk across the stage. Kind of a personal thing to me, because I got a son that's graduating, but they're gonna do, this class is gonna do something special because of the things that the hurdles that they've had to overcome. Mayor Polino for doing the leadership in the parade, did a great job with that, and I know there were kids that really enjoyed that and taking part of that. And lastly, as always, thanks to staff for all you do for helping us and pulling all this together. There's a lot of things that we've completed, a lot of things in process that you keep us on task with, and appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you. Just want to, couple things. First off, great meeting today, very productive. I think we got a lot of things done. Moving the ball forward and on many aspects, the fact that we're going to get some communication out very shortly is, I don't know about you guys, but I got a lot of calls and people just keeping me in the loop. In fact, one constituent out at the courtyards, she actually called me to clarify what she was writing to make sure her fact checking was correct, and she was basically asking all of her neighbors not to participate in the petition. So she called me and I read it, and it's just a fantastic letter that she sent out, and that's on her doing it. She was just calling me for fact checking purposes, and kind of inspired me, saying, I need to get that letter out too, and get that off my chest in the right venue, if you will. So very excited about all the things that I'm hearing and how we are moving forward, and even with the meetings, council, coffee with council. Thank you, staff. You guys have been, again, terrific and for being here with, especially during these difficult times and being available. We appreciate that. The senior parade, I will tell you, there were people there that were hopping, that were basically driving around, making sure they went to all the high school neighborhood events and stuff. And I was asked to lead the parade for our neighborhood. I think I reached out to you too to see if you were available, just because, you know, putting that together. Thank the parents that did that in, I think it was both Firethorn and Innisbrook. And we did a slow parade, started at the elementary school, and Wesley Chapel was there, fire department with whistles blowing, and it was fun. So I was proud to be part of that. I was humbled too, because I think at the very end of the parade, I think some girl that was a graduate, she goes, "Wait, are you our mayor?" And I said, "You didn't vote for me?" But, you know, it was fun, and I was, and even the principal said this was so much more fun, because those graduation, as you know, you and I have been at the same one recently, last year, and they're long, because there's a lot of kids that they want to go through, and I'm glad we're doing this proclamation to kind of make it as special as we can, because that's something that I know I'll always remember too, and for your kids, you want everything. So stay safe with the COVID, continue to practice social distancing, but I agree with Councilman Lyon that we need to get back to work, and we're seeing it because it's happening here in South Carolina. The restaurants are opening up, and roads are getting busier, so that's a good thing. So, and with that, I will ask to end the meeting.
Hold on, closed session.
Motion.
Do we have any closed session meetings or special meeting minutes that we need to be approving?
I don't,
Are we all up to date?
we're not all up to date with the closed session. I'll have those for our next meeting.
Perfect.
Okay, I'll need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Bob, you want me to bring you a slice of pizza?
No, it's okay. Thank you very much.